All right, good morning, everyone. I want to welcome to Texas Church Drill Team Coalition. This session, the panel discussion, is we're going to be talking about the drill team director, the role and the responsibilities. I have three distinguished guests, and they don't, I said distinguished, Sister Ann. There we go.
Thank you.
Okay, so we basically want to talk to everyone about the roles and the responsibilities of the drill team director. Now, we're going to go around, start with you, Katura, introduce yourself and tell us about yourself. Go.
My name is Katura Thompson. I am the drill director of the East Mount Zion Baptist Church drill team here in Cleveland, Ohio, under the direction of the Reverend Brian A. Cash. And I have been drilling 19 years this year.
Okay. Ann Baines.
Yes, my name is Annie Baines, and I have been drill team director for 25 years collectively. I started with redesign Houston and left there and went to Progressive Missionary Baptist Church. There, I supervised over 30 staff members. And I would say over the years, I've touched more than 100 plus lives, youth lives. And we're still praying, and because we want to get our children back to church.
Okay. Wait a minute. Now, I'm going to bring this guy in. I don't have any sound effects or any Moses Tyson pray for me, gospel Hammond organ music. But what this is our national director, Brian Brown. Go ahead, Brian. You're welcome, sir. I know.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning. Special good morning to you, Reverend English. My name is Brian Brown, and I am the director of the St. Agnes Morton Faith Drill Team. I have been in the ministry now. This year marks 30 years, exactly 30 years for me in the ministry. Love every minute of it. And also, as Reverend English said, I am the National Drill Team coordinator that encompasses all the drill teams here in the United States.
Okay, great. So just in case you're just now joining us, we brought on four drill team directors who each have different years of time in service, if I want to say it that way. And we all have had our experiences of being a drill team director. We all have had good, some not so good. So let's talk about and we just go around. Let's talk about what made you become a director. How did you go from being on the floor to maybe an adult worker to a drill team director? Katura, go first.
I have been drilling for a while. And during the transition season of my pastor getting older, we lost our drill team about 5 or 6 years. My freshman year of college, our pastor said, well, let's start taking the drill team back to Congress. I'm like, okay. So we took a team, put it together, came up with a routine, and just organically, I became the director. I mean, no one else wanted to do it. I had the loudest mouth. I had been in ROTC for 3 years. So it kind of made sense. It kind of just worked itself out. And that was history. Like I said, I've always been in drill team. I never cared for any other ministry. So it kind of made sense for me to, stay in my own lane. And that's how it came.
Okay. Sister Bain?
Yes. The reason I became a drill team director, it's more personal to me. As my oldest daughter was growing up, she got involved with a bad boy and got in a little bit of trouble. So when we went to court, I promised God that if he would just let her out of that, I would do his will for the rest of my life. And he did. He answered my prayer. And so I went out to seek what was that I could do. It was really heavy on my heart. I actually didn't know what I was going to do. And I was surfing the web one day and I saw the Texas drill team ministry. So I called the number, got involved with them. And as I did, and I started a drill team at Great Design Baptist Church, then the heaviness that was on my heart, it went away. So I said, Lord, thank you, because I listened to you. And now the heaviness I know was because I had not yet done what I promised him that I was going to do. But ever since then, I've been working in the drill team, and it's now 25 years. So that's how I got involved. And I worked really, really hard, tireless hours to make sure that I was going to do it right.
Right. Okay, great. Brian Brown, go.
So, as a young boy, I started as a cadet drilling, and then as I got older, transitioned, I went into the trainer role. Then I went into the assistant director role. I know everybody knows I was under General Oscar Alexis. He motivated and inspired not only me, but everyone around him. And so he gave me that extra push to say, hey, you can do this. If not you, who else? So, for me, I'm just a soldier. And some of us have soldier in us, some of us don't. I'm blessed to have it in me. I just have it. It's just a part of me. And so that's the simple, plain cut reason of why I became the director, and then also the national drill team coordinator as well.
Okay, good. So everybody who just now joined us, this is a panel discussion about the drill team director roles and responsibilities. And we all can agree that every church has different roles for their drill team, because every church is different. What is allowed at one church might not necessarily be allowed at another church. The responsibilities, what are you responsible for? Some drill teams, when I started out, I wasn't responsible for the trips and the logistic parts. So the only thing I was responsible for was the routine. And what I did was I delegated that responsibility to someone, so that way I wouldn't have a lot on my plate. So let's talk about how, and this is not throw shade on anybody. I don't want anybody to get mad, and not you all, but anybody that's listening that sees this later. We all can agree. Everybody wants to be a drill team director until it's time to be a drill team director. Shake your head, yes. Okay. Everybody can tell you how to run the drill team. You have kids in the drill team. Shake your head, yes. So let's talk about how the adversity that we face, and then we'll talk about the blessings. But we need to talk about, because there are people that, as Brian said, and you all can agree, that it's a calling to be a drill team director. You can't just say, "Oh, I see Couture in church, and man, I can do that." And my response to that person is, "You think you could do it?" So talk about, Couture, tell us some of the adversities that you face as a drill team director.
When it comes to drill team, you're in drill team 7 days a week. As a drill team director, you're a drill team director 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. On the holidays, Easter, you're a drill team director. You have to be available, not only to the children, but to the Holy Spirit, because you're working on behalf of God, operating through the Spirit for the betterment of the young people. I hear people all the time, it must be easy. All you do is yell. All you do is, just order the kids around, and you all just put those routines and those Bible verses together. No, we're up at 6 o'clock in the morning praying with kids before they go to school. You have kids staying with you throughout the summer because of situations at home. You're going to high school graduation because children don't have families. You're a drill team director. Your family, you're sometimes the only family every day. This is a full-time job to be a drill team director. People think it's easy, and while I'm grateful for the opportunity, it is a difficult job sometimes.
Right. So yeah, so we can agree to that, Katura, that it is a difficult job. It's more to than when you see me on the Sunday that we're ministering to the church in our uniforms, and the 7 to 8 or 9 minutes you see on there, it's way more. That's all you see. You see the finished product. You don't see the children coming to you crying with situations that's not even drill team related. You know, they don't see you trying to encourage them. You know, hey, how those grades look. You know, they don't see that part. So thank you for that, Ann Jackson, Ann Baines. I'm sorry. Tell us about the adversity.
Yes. Over the years, my drill team is not. Well, let's say, you know, they don't come to me with a silver spoon in their mouth. Usually, the children that I get or underserved, underrepresented, they're marginalized. They come to me, they're hungry. They do not have food or clothing. So what we do is we have a fund here. We go out and we purchase clothing, and these are school clothes, not just built-in uniforms. You know, we pay for their lunches, get them on free lunches, whatever we have to do. We even try to develop a relationship with our parents with hopes, because it has to start in the home, and we can do the right thing and teach them the right thing every week. But if they're going to go back into chaos, you know, they're going to continue to bring that chaos. But I think eventually the children turn the parents around.
Right. Eventually.
Based on what they've learned in drill team.
Right. And that's really, really good. Excuse me if y'all hear the dog barking in the background. He's doing his job. That is something to you're saying something when you say that the children actually have turned the parent around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you become such an influence to the child, that the child becomes such an influence to the parent, you know, you're not going to tell me God is not pleased with that. That is a wonderful thing to have happened. Brian Brown, talk about the adversity, sir.
Well, some of the adversity that I've seen is parents, just parents. A lot of parents take sports, school activities a lot more serious than drill team and church.
Right.
And so, you know, one of the things I like to always think about is, when are we going to make time for the Lord? You know, these parents run all over town for football, basketball tournaments, games. We have drill team once, maybe twice a week for an hour and a half. And it is an act of God to get them to come to practice, to bring their kids to practice, is what I'm saying. Right. And so that's one of the major obstacles that I have seen and faced over my years, is getting parents on board the train. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's a very, you have to use some tact when you're speaking to these parents. You don't want to lose them, but you don't want to drive them away, but you want to instill that this is just as serious as basketball, football, baseball, etc. Make time for the Lord.
Right. And I will speak to that, Brian. And this is something that I didn't understand. I had a parent, I've had it several times, when the child started falling off in school, the first thing they said was, we take him out of the drill team.
Take him out of the drill team. That's right.
And my response is, so is the drill team making them fail in school? and wait a minute, and listen to this ridiculous response. Well, they like the drill team.
Yes.
So to hurt the child, they'll take them out.
So instead of finding out why they failing in school, getting them a tutor, put some on their behind, and put that in there too. I'm gonna take them out of the drill team. So the parents that did that to me, I waited till almost the end of school year. I already knew that the kid was failing because I did my homework. So I walked up to him and said, "Hey, so how did taking him out of the drill team work?" He's down the head. You know, you don't punish a child and take him. Here's what I thought happened. It's like you said, like you got tired of coming over there every Saturday. You got tired of paying your dues, and you didn't want to be a part. That's what it was. More so coming over there on Saturday because we was practicing. We practice every Saturday, and I'm like all of you all. You got to make time. The only time your team is going to be great is you have to practice, and people don't understand. That's how you get the precision down. You're not going to be you might be a good drill team, but you're not going to be a drill team that don't practice is going to look horrible.
English, may I add something to that?
Yes, sir, you can.
I don't know if Couture's or Annie Baines here has experienced this. I have seen where parents literally come in and they say, well, I'm a little short when it's time to buy uniforms and accessories and time to go on a trip. But their kid can come in with a fresh pair of Jordans.
Fresh.
Or they can run all over town and say, oh, this basketball tournament, this AAU team, his trainer costs $200 and $300, $400 a month, or for a package deal. They'll throw that out in a second. But if you say, I need $100 for you for his drill team uniform and accessories, well, can you give me 3 weeks? Can I get it on a payment plan? But when these other people say we need $400, $500, well, here you go.
Yeah. No. They might even say,
look, am I the only one that
No, sir.
When I get my tax return.
No, wait. They might even say this. We'll take care of it when we come back from Congress.
When we come back.
No, look here.
I got you when we come back.
No, I got news for you. You won't be getting on that bus because I'm not gonna call my church, but the church that I'm a member of, them parents will tell you. English has said if you owe a quarter, when Continental Charter pull up there, don't even drive, don't pull up because you're gonna make me clown. You ain't getting on that bus. And here's why. It's not fair to those parents that have struggled, that have sacrificed, that have put back money, that have taken money to send it. It's not fair to them. And I understand everybody's fine. That's why here's what we do. And this has worked. Every parent that we know has a problem, first of all, they have to identify themselves that there's a problem. And that's where their pride is going to get in the way. But once they come to me in private and say, hey, we might have a problem, I'm going to start reaching out to church members to help you with. Now, here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to go out here and grind for you, and then you don't do nothing. We're not going to, if it's $600 and I come up with 300 of it, hey, the other 3 is on you. Or that 3 that I got, go on us paying for these meals, and we'll holler at you when we get back.
So what do you do?
No, go ahead.
So what do you do with those children when the parents are not involved in their lives? The parent themselves do not have money, but the children want to participate in drill teams. The parents will not do fundraisers. The parents are just not involved. So what do you do with those children?
You step up.
You have to, and that's I thank you, Katura. I will speak to that, Sister Ann. When we first started the church that I belong to, that was an issue. We had a different way to make payments, and one of the parents went into where we was making payments and said, "Well, I'm not going to pay anything because I'm looking on here and nobody else is paying." Well, because we give you from August to May, or end of March. You have to have all of them paid. Now, the downside of that is the bus deposit and all that stuff, uniforms, all that stuff requires deposit and requires payment in full. So what that did was we just started saying, no, you got to have X amount of dollars paid and it's got to be paid. So when you don't have that, because you're going to run, if you're a drill team director, you're going to run into that situation where, one, the parent might not have it. 2, they might have it and say, you know what, I ain't giving it, so I will agree with what Couture says is that's where that's where we use an alternate method. We got a lot of ministries at the church. I go to those ministry leaders and say, I got a child that needs, and what I have to do is I have to step out of it, because the human side of me wants to say, you trying to get over on me, because I'm like, Brian, you saying you ain't got no money, but these J's you got on, I know they was 200 plus. Wait a minute, and you coming in here every Saturday fresh out the barber chair. And as my pastor say, and your mama got a coolest Michael purse on her arm. so yeah, Sister Baines, you just got to step up and try to do your best to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
You experienced that?
I didn't hear your feedback.
I said, have you experienced that?
Oh, I do all the time.
Okay.
And so what we've done is actually set up a fund for those students, because for the last 4 years in doing drill team, we knew that we had siblings for them that their mother was not going to help at all. We asked her to help us just because she has the stamps. Say, you can buy some snacks, like $150 worth of snacks. She said, okay. When time came, she said all she could give us was $25. So, we prepare our kids in here to take care of those children.
Okay, and I will say this: God will bless your team, because He does that. He will create opportunities. He will speak to a person that will help, because a lot of times my biggest problem, and the student ministry lead, when I went in with the same situation, he would say, man, that's not for you to determine whether or not they're trying to get over on you.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, in my mind, I'm still hood. I'm thinking, oh man, these jokers, they trying to run game on. But the bottom line is, I got to be responsible. My goal is to get that kid to, because I would prefer to have them there, have the experience, have them around other kids, as opposed to me telling them, sorry, you can't go. What am I doing? Even though I know it's the parents' fault, what am I doing to that child? And let me tell you this, that has actually happened to me, where I had to tell a parent, sorry, your child can't go. So when I told her that, a couple of days later, she called me and told me he just cried and cried. It made me feel horrible, because it made me seem like I was the blame. So what I did was I said, you know what? It's not hurting us. And I didn't tell nobody that he didn't pay nothing, because there wasn't no. But what I did tell his mama was, we not feeding him. Now we let you get off with $600 something supplemental payment. You better send him with some money. Now if you're not gonna do that, you don't show up when it's time to leave. Because we let you. When I told him, we let you get on the bus without doing this, and I told him, please do not go out and tell everybody we did that. Yeah. So we talked about the struggles of being a drill team director. Now with struggles, there's always rewards.
Mm-hmm.
So with Couture, talk about the rewards. A drill team director.
I've seen what the ministry has done to literally save young people's lives. It has kind of reshaped broken children and turned them into amazing Christian adults. Drill team saved my life. Like, I hate to sound cliche, Hallmark card. Drill team saved my life. So drill team is one of those type of things. It's not like any other ministry, because it kind of just takes over you as an entire person. And when it comes to being a drill director, we get to see the finished project. The kids come in there, you can't tell them nothing. They move when they want to move. They're going to tell you what they're going to do. And then, 10, 11, 12 years later, there are these amazing, articulate, educated individuals. And that's not something that you can get. And I hate to speak about other ministries, but in praise dance and choir and usher, this is something only the drill team can give you.
Right. That is correct. That is correct. Sister Bain, talk about the reward.
Yes, the reward is, I think over the years, I've only lost 2 children to the street. And I think that is a good number, especially if you come in contact with 150 plus kids. Most of the kids that leave drill team, they either sign up for the Air Force, Marines, or the Navy. They've also gone away to college. They've come back, I mean, with a degree, something that they can stand up and be proud of. Their parents, and even their directors and those youth ministry leaders to help them. And I just want to talk briefly about my sibling group. It's 4 of them. When they got started, we went and got them out of the apartment.
Wow.
They were terrorizing the apartment. Their sister, 12 years old, was staying out 12 midnight, turned the phone off, so nobody can contact her. We got them into Britain. Today, Trenton, who was the hardest one to become the drill team, he's applied to several colleges and has been accepted to Lamar University. All 4 of them are enrolled. One of the little brothers is now in the choir at school, and he's singing tenor. They call, they want to come by together, come by my house and to live at home. But they are so respectful. And, even the mom says, thank you, what you've done to my children.
Wow. That is amazing to hear stories of Keturah and Sister Baines, how we affect people's lives. And I think sometimes we don't even know that we're doing it. We don't find out, like Keturah said, we don't find out until they graduate, until they come back. And I'll say this before I let you go, Brian, before I let you go with your comments, Brian. I have seen where you don't pay attention to that. And that one kid that was your nightmare, walks up to you in church 3 or 4 years down the road, and they've grown and they're positive, and they tell you, hey, you know what, thank you for making me stand still in practice, getting on me, so the drill team has a lot of arms, has a lot of appendages, has a lot of far reaches than we sometimes we imagine as a drill team director. Talk about the rewards, Brian.
Well, for me, the greatest reward is when a kid comes back to you and says, thank you. Thank you. When they grow up, go off to school, come back from school, they're an adult and they have responsibilities, they have matured, and they call you or they see you in person and they say, thank you. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for getting on me. Thank you for pushing me. Thank you for giving me the mindset to believe in myself. And so one thing I do want to say too is also when you have others, not necessarily kids, but let's say parents or fellow church members or members in the community that are watching you, and they say, you know what, that's a fine young man, that's a fine young lady, she's a leader, he's a leader, he's a motivator, and they tell you that to me, those are the greatest rewards, is making a difference in a child's life. And when others can see the confidence and really wanna and see the leadership in you and want to follow you. You're an example of what a leader is, not just in uniform, but outside of uniform. When you carry yourself the same way outside of church, outside of drill team, outside of a convention, to me that's the greatest reward. Those 3 things there.
Right. So we all can agree that the impact that we have as the drill team director reaches farther than when, and we might not even, when we first accepted the position, none of us knew. I didn't know that lives were going to be changed. I didn't know that, personalities were going to be adjusted. I didn't know that attitudes were going to be adjusted. I didn't know that, I had no idea. But when I realized that, it really, really drove home the point of that us as drill team directors, we got to take the roles and responsibilities, we got to take it very seriously, because lives depend on the seriousness of our roles and responsibilities. Can we agree to that?
Absolutely. English, may I say something too?
Yes, sir, you can.
I do believe one of the things that God judges us on is how much we give, not how much we receive, but how much we give. I want to let everyone know that's listening live and whoever looks back at it wants to look at this later on. If you're going to become a drill team director or an assistant, expect to give a lot more than you receive.
Mm-hmm.
Expect to give a lot more. And people may not ever acknowledge all that you've done, but God sees it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say I believe God knows what you've done. That's all I want to say. I just want to just add that in too.
Right, and that is good, because he does see it. So we're 31 minutes in. So we're going to wrap this up. So what we're going to do is we're going to Katura. I want you to, if you were going to, this is a question for everybody. So when it comes to you, if you were going to be invited, or you knew somebody that was going to wanted to be a drill team director, what would you say to them?
Prepare. I think the first word would be sacrifice. Prepare to sacrifice a lot of your time, a lot of time. If you're not in it for the development and growth of young people, don't get into it. It's not about Congress. It's not about trophies. It's not about convention. It's not about going out of town every year. It is about strengthening young people in Christ. If you don't love young people, and I didn't say like or okay, if you don't love young people, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't
No,
do
wait.
it.
Let me reinforce that. Did y'all hear? Let me say it again. She didn't say like. It's not like clicking the like button when you're on Facebook. She said love. You got to click love. If you don't love them, and wait a minute, and it's gonna show if you don't love them.
And they'll know.
And you know what?
And they'll respond
They will know.
accordingly as well.
They will. You
Because
show right
real
about that.
recognize real, and kids are very real these days. And if
That's
they
right.
feel that you're being fake and phony and don't love them, they'll reciprocate that feeling.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, Ann Baines, give me some final words.
Okay. Well, drill team number one is it's definitely it's based on discipline. Not only discipline for our youth, but for the adult worker as well. You got to be a team. You have to have you have to be part of a team. Um, be willing to go the extra step. Sometimes you may have to stay up late. Um, it's just hard work. You have to listen to stories, not only from the children. Sometimes you have to listen from adults,
Right.
and even adults that are not in the drill team or part of the drill team. They have a whole lot to say.
They do.
So you have to be able to listen to them, attentively, because even the ones that put you down and tell you, hey, you're just wasting your time, they eventually, after seeing all the work that's put into it, the final result, then they will come back and they will be your biggest advocate.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Ann Baines. Brian Brown.
First thing I would say to them is be prepared. Be prepared for kids. Be prepared for parents. Be prepared to be told no. Be prepared for failure. Okay? It's nothing wrong with failing as long as you get up. You got to get up. People are watching you. People are hoping that you fail. Show them wrong.
Sad but true.
And that comes from being strong-minded. Strong-minded And the last thing I'm gonna say about that is, if you don't know how to pray, you better learn. You don't need prayer. being in a director role.
You know, if you can't say anything, just wave your hand.
Lee Williams said that if I can't do anything, I just wave my hand.
Just wave.
Yeah. I want to thank all three of you. Couture, shout out to Cleveland, Ohio, Ann Baines, shout out to Houston, Texas, Brian, shout out to Pearland, right? You rep from Pearland? Okay, good. So I want to thank you guys for coming on, being part of this roles and responsibilities. We hope that this video goes out, so because there's someone that needs to hear this, that needs to understand it's more to it than popping on the uniform, like Couture said, going to Congress, to see you at Congress, waiting for your name to get called for a trophy, and then they don't see the behind all the stuff. It's more that goes on as a drill team director behind the scenes than what you see. Yeah, so again, I want to thank you guys for coming on. I might reach back out to you again to circle back when we have another topic. But the next topic, we're gonna be a little bit more messy. This is a little too calm down. I need some messy topics to get. I know y'all want a little piece of that, don't you? We're gonna talk. Look, the next time we talk about drill team director, it's gonna be the messy drill team director. Who wants some of that? I know I do. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank y'all for coming on.
Thank you.
Have a great one, guys.
Have a blessed day.
Okay, so again, we want to thank Brian Brown, Couture, and Ann Baines for coming on, talking about the drill team director, the roles and responsibilities. So we would like for you to like our Facebook page, Texas Church Drill Team Coalition. Follow us on Instagram. That's TCDTC 2022. We had to change that. We're on Instagram. We also have a YouTube channel. We want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you go to our YouTube channel, we also have straight drill videos in accordance with AR 670-1. I'm sorry, that's FM 22-5, military drill and ceremony. We have that on the YouTube channel. So if your drill team needs a refresher on straight drill, go to our YouTube video. Those are there. And also every panel discussion that we have had is also uploaded to our YouTube page. So again, thank you for listening. We hope that we have been a blessing to you. Thank you.